friends, thank you so much for pressing play and joining me for today's PiYo workout. A little blend of Pilates and yoga. Really, these two practices have so much in common, and it's really fun to get to blend the two of them together. So let's get started here. We're going to start off in a child's pose, but I'm going to go ahead and bring my knees wide and my feet together. I am going to slide my hips back and drop my hips to my heels. Let my fingertips walk out in front, and my forehead is going to find the mat or the floor. Good, so let's talk about breathing. First of all, a big inhale opens up your rib cage and expands your lungs. And exhaling, think about melting into your mat, relaxing. Another big inhale. Try to fill up the whole center of your body with your breath, and then exhale to melt to the floor. One more big breath here. Awesome work. We're just going to reach our fingertips out a little bit further, still trying to keep your seat resting on your heels. And now we're going to walk our hands over to the left side. Once your fingertips are far away reaching, I'm going to pull my hips back, right hip towards my right heel, and enjoy the stretch through my arms and my back of my rib cage and the armpit. And then I'm going to walk my fingertips over to the right side, get a fresh breath, reach those fingers out, exhale to pull my hips back, and just stretching through that left side. It should feel wonderful. Good, bringing your hands back to center. We're going to come up to kneeling. And we're going to start off with a big breath. We're going to inhale the arms up. Lace our fingers at the top and then press the palms up towards the sky. So I'm growing really long through my torso. And I'm going to get a fresh breath. And I'm going to exhale into a tiny bit of extension, pushing my chest forward, opening up my armpits. Good, and from here I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to bring the shape, arm shape down, hollow out the belly, pull my hips back, and think about C curving my spine. Good, let's go ahead and lift up. Keep those fingers laced, pressing up towards the sky. Open the chest. You might even squeeze your booty. Inner thigh connection here. And then bring that shape down. Good. Hollowing out the belly, stretching the back wide and open. Let's go ahead up for our last big stretch here. Good. Inhale and exhale. Squeezing the back side tight as the front side of the body lengthens and stretches. Bringing that shape down, hollowing the belly, pulling the hips and the belly button back, looking for the C curve of the spine, and lifting yourself up. Good. Let's go ahead and raise ourselves up. We're going to take the two arms that are straight up towards the ceiling, and we're going to bend the right arm. I'm going to bring the fingertips to back, and my other hand is going to assist in just creating a deeper stretch. Good, so my armpit, my shoulder is getting the stretch here. Trying to open up the armpit and lift it up towards the ceiling. Good, and another breath here. And we're going to release. Sweep those arms back up. The other side, I'm going to bend at the elbow and draw the fingertips down my spine as my head presses back and the chest stays nice and open here. Good, the armpit should feel like it's stretching open as it reaches up. Fantastic work. Good, good, good. Thank you so much for joining me today. Release that. A big stretch one more time, and we're going to go ahead and dive ourselves forward to 4-point kneeling. Good, so once we're in our 4-point kneeling pose, we're gonna take our right hand and reach it up towards the sky, rotating that shoulder up, opening the chest. Good, and we're trying to keep both knees heavy and get some spinal rotation. This is challenging. We're gonna take this arm, we're gonna sweep it on through and try to bring our shoulder down to the mat. Good, our hips are high, and then our free arm is gonna be reaching out long in front. And we're gonna hold this pose for a couple breaths. Big inhale, exhale to try to heavy your shoulder to the mat, reaching your other hand in opposition. Good. And now take that far away hand, draw it in, press yourself up to lift it, and we're back to 4-point kneeling. From here, that opposite arm, left arm, is gonna reach up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Try to rotate that left shoulder back. Good, lots of work here. Take the arm, we're gonna slide it through, thread it through, and try to bring that shoulder and maybe your earlobe down to the mat as the other arm reaches way overhead. Hips are nice and high here. We're gonna get in a couple breaths. Good, breathing into the open side of your ribs on the right. Good, and then that far away arm is gonna pull in and push us up to 4-point kneeling. Slide back for a quick child's pose. And lift. From 4-point kneeling here, we're gonna find downward dog. So we tuck our toes under, lift our hips up, and draw those heels down. Looking for length on the back of the legs, as well as length through the armpits and the torso. Yes, the tailbone lifting high as the chest drops low. Good, and from here we're gonna raise a heel as the other heel presses down to the floor. So we're looking for some mobility in our ankle joint and that Achilles tendon and through the calf muscles. Good, alternating that press through. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna walk ourselves back to a fold forward. From our fold forward, get a fresh breath. Exhale to start to stack the spine up. Inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale to bring them down and behind you. Let's lace those fingers together and press out and away to open the chest. This is a chest opener, and it kind of causes our back to need to engage and bring us that lifted open chest. What we all need a little bit more of in our daily lives. Good, opening up the chest from here. We're gonna start to soften the knees and the hips as the chest drops forward, the arms start to reach up towards the sky. Good, from here, the head is gonna fall forward and the arms are gonna follow. Hanging heavy here, give yourself a little no nod or a little yes nod. And hang out for another breath. Big inhale. And exhale, melt. Maybe those arms slide forward just a little bit more. Another big breath. Melting into gravity. Good, and then we're gonna draw the arms down towards our low back, unclasp, bring them to the front of the thighs, and support ourselves as we stack up to standing tall. Excellent work. Let's inhale those arms up. Our spine grows long, and from here we're gonna dive ourselves forward and walk ourselves out to downward dog. Good, from downward dog, we shift ourselves forward to a plank position. Hanging out in plank here, we are gonna slowly drop the front of the body to the floor. So I'm gonna bring my knees down first, and ever so slowly start the release down. But I'm also trying to grow long through my torso as I release to the mat. All the way down, I'm gonna get a fresh breath. exhale to start reaching through the crown of my head, peeling my chest up, and then using my arms to help support my cobra here. Legs reaching away, glutes squeezing tight. Good, let's lay ourselves back down. We've got 2 more just like that. Fresh inhale. Exhale, melt the shoulders low, pull the crown up, opening the chest, keeping the shoulders nice and low. Squeeze the booty. Release yourself back down. We've got 1 more just like that. Big inhale. Exhale, melt your shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you lift up and lengthen your front side. Squeeze the glutes and release back down. Good. Our next cobra is going to take us into our next move. Inhaling here in neutral, exhaling to peel up the chest and lift. And we almost slide down to child's pose, but then we tuck our toes and we find our downward dog. We've practiced this a few times, so hopefully we're feeling a little more lengthened and ready for this. And from here, I am going to drop my left knee for a supported side plank. And here we are in side plank. Good, we want to be in this nice lateral plane here. I'm thinking about reaching my arms apart, which causes my back to feel active, but then also crown to toe, reaching long. Arms going to stretch up overhead as I try to lift my rib cage as if a helium balloon were tied around my torso, lifting my ribs up a little higher, reaching long. Good. From here, we're going to take the long leg, draw it in, and place it between our hands. From here, the back leg lengthens, and we're going to tuck those toes under and hover up in just a very, very low lunge. So this could feel quite challenging on both of your hip joints. We want to try to square up the hips and the shoulders here. Palms could be all the way down, or you could be raised up a little bit higher. Trying to keep those legs in their lane, not flaying out to the sides. Excellent work. From here, I'm going to push through my front heel to find some lift. Arms coming straight up to the ceiling, and I'm going to rotate the leg behind me so that my toes are pointing out to the side. Good. Reaching up through the torso, maybe leaning back just a little bit if it doesn't bother your back. And then from here, those arms slide into Warrior Two. Reaching those arms long, maybe sinking a little lower into our leg lunge. Reaching long here. Good. I'm going to turn my palm up on my front hand and lift it as my back hand wraps around my leg. Reaching through this front side should feel energetic, should feel like a lot of work. Fingertips lifting. Good, and then I'm going to rotate both hands forward to the floor. And then I'm going to lift up the arm closest to my right arm, that goes with my right leg. Lift and reach, spine twist. So it's a twisted lunge, reaching up. Good. Another breath here, holding, reaching, bringing it back down. From here, we're going to swing our leg back to plank, and we're going to release the front of the body down to the mat. Slowly lengthening it as we bring it to the floor. Fresh breath here. We're going to exhale to swan lift up. Good, and from our swan lift, sliding the hips back, tucking the toes under, and finding our downward dog. Good, so we've got the same series to do on the other side. Fresh breath. Good, so we're gonna rotate, bring the right knee down, and lift the fingertips up towards the sky. Good, leg reaching away from the crown of the head, arms pressing away as well. Good, looking for length in both dimensions. And from here, we're gonna take the top arm, stretch it up overhead, and the rib cage tries to rise just a little bit. Good, keep the reach going. Fantastic work. Good, we're gonna bring the arm down and the far away leg is gonna bring itself forward to be on either side of our hands. I'm walking myself back just a little bit to make sure my knee is not out past my toes here. And then my far away leg is kind of reaching longer. Tuck the toes under, possibly raise that knee up for your very low, very long lunge. So for both hips, this feels a little bit challenging. Again, we want our legs and knees aligned in their lane, not flaying out to the sides, and that is challenging for sure. From here, I'm going to press out of my floor heel and lift on up. Good, and then my foot rotates, my back foot rotates, toes out to the side. Finding a nice lengthened torso. We might lean back just an inch or two, deepening the stretch of the pose, and then lifting. Good, rotating to the side for warrior two. Palms reaching away here, maybe sinking a little bit lower into our lunge. Beautiful, looking so good. So glad we're doing this together. Good, from here, palm up and lift to the sky. Gaze shifts up, wrapping my low hand around my thigh. Reaching, reaching. Fabulous. Bring those arms forward to land beside your foot. Good, and then my hand that goes with my forward foot, left arm, reaches up and rotates. It's a big hip release, big hip stretch. Good, looking for that shoulder rotation. Fabulous. Bring it back down. Slide your foot back to downward dog. And then we're gonna bring those knees forward for a quick child's pose stretch. Hanging out in child's pose for just a second here. Your palms could be resting here and your forehead could be on top. A couple of big breaths. Taking a moment to just be grateful for this time to spend focused on caring for our bodies, our mental health, our emotional health, our physical health are all linked together. And this is just a way of honoring our bodies and thanking them for the way they serve us. From child's pose, lifting up to seated on our heels. We're going to have our palms out to the sides. We get a fresh breath. And exhale to press over. Good. Inhale for the transition. Exhale to press over. Good. And as we're doing this lateral flexion side to side, we're thinking about stretching open those ribs as they arc over the head. Yes, so part of our ribs are made out of bone, part of our ribs are made out of cartilage to allow us to create these movements where they're needing to flex and bend and stretch. Good, a couple more here. Reach, land, press up, and hold here. So that was a warm-up for our next move. And I'm just gonna turn so that you can see. I'm gonna have my hands resting, fingertips down on the back of my hips. I'm gonna raise my hips up, stretching one arm up and over, landing back down, booty to heels. Other arm lift and reach, and bringing that back down. Good, exhaling up, inhaling to lower. Squeezing the quads and the glutes as you bring yourself up. Especially at the top, it's a great opportunity to engage those muscles with a glute squeeze. Good, and then we can advance this move by bringing our fingertips to our heels, stretching up and over with just a little bit more extension. Good. So if this does not feel accessible, bring your hands back to your low hips and get a very, very similar movement. You've still got the glute stretch, you've still got the quad stretch, working really well. Last one. And there we have it. Fantastic work today. Thank you so much for joining me for this PiYo workout, a beautiful blend of Pilates and yoga. Both practices strongly believe that spirit, soul, body, mind are all intertwined and they all need our care and attention. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the workout, give me a like,